Professor Karen Hofman van die Universiteit van die Witwatersrand gesels vanoggend oor die verkope of aanvraag van suikerdrankies as gevolg van suikerlose drankies en suikerbelasting. So good morning, Professor Karen, and thank you so much for joining us on the Groot Ontbyt.
Morning. Pleased to be here.
Professor, let's start with some background on Priceless SA.
Yeah. So we are a unit. We are the MRC unit, South African MRC unit that deals with health economics and decision science. And we work on where we can get what we call the best bang for the buck in health in South Africa. Some of those interventions are in the health system, the best bang, and some of those interventions are outside the health system. And this sugary beverage tax is one of them.
All right, so why is research on health so important?
Well, the question is that without health, you have nothing. You can have, everything is important, everything is critical, but what we've shown with COVID is that if you're at risk in terms of your health and of dying, you may as well just throw in the towel because that really has to be privileged over everything else. And in fact, as far as we're concerned, the COVID situation has shown that South Africa is at very high risk. Most of the people who died and have died during COVID and been hospitalized during COVID have an obesity-related condition. They have diabetes, hypertension, cardiac disease. Those are the people, unfortunately, that have died. So health is really critical for the country.
And that makes it very concerning. But I would like to focus a little bit more on sales or demand of sugar beverages as a result of sugar-free drinks and sugar taxes. What does the latest research within this regard entail?
Yeah, so we've just done a study. It's completed by my colleagues, Nick Stacey and others at WITS, as well as people at UWC and the University of North Carolina in the United States. And we showed that this sugary beverage tax has had an impact. The companies, the industry, has passed on the tax to the consumer. The consumer has decreased their intake of sugary beverages, and the industry has also reformulated to make smaller products. So it's been a win all round. Mm-hmm. But the fact is that South Africans across the country in all 9 provinces have decreased their consumption. And in fact, the heaviest consumers have decreased their consumption the most. So definitely working.
Well, that's very interesting. Why would you say is that the case?
Well, I think having a tax, it's called a health promotion levy, so it has actually promoted health, has shown people that sugar is a very dangerous substance, and a lot of people didn't know that. Just the very fact that there is this tax has woken people up to say, oh my goodness, every time I drink a 250 ml can of sugary beverage, I'm drinking 7 or 8 teaspoons of sugar. Mm-hmm. Okay. The biggest problem is that the fruit drinks are still not taxed, and people think that the fruit drinks are actually healthy. Mm. In fact, they're even more unhealthy. An average fruit drink has about 8 to 10 teaspoons of sugar, fresh juice, not healthy for people. So I think we're at the beginning of a journey with the citizens of South Africa to show them that this sugar is really a very unhealthy product and is in the same category as things like tobacco and alcohol. So, yeah, that's what's going on.
And what is your prediction regarding future trends? Do you think this is going to change?
Well, do I think that the public will drink less sugar or eat less sugar?
Yes.
Yes, I do actually. I think it's going to take a while. I think there need to be other things put in place, regulations against marketing to children, labeling products in the front of the pack, processed foods. There needs to be, people don't know what they're eating, is the truth of it. We've got no idea. I mean, we did a study a few years ago looking at, for example, amount of sugar in baby foods. It was massive. It was totally incredible. We don't know. We think we're having something quote unquote healthy, but actually it's loaded. It's loaded with sugar. That's what people put in it. That's what the manufacturers do. And I think we need to understand a little bit more about what we're consuming. For example, with the fruit juice, say it's 5 oranges in a really good freshly squeezed orange juice. That's about 10 teaspoons right there. I think people will change their habits in the future. So they'll eat their fruit. They won't drink their fruit. They'll drink less sugary beverages. They'll at least think to maybe, what am I really eating here? Not all the time, but a lot of the time. Yes, I do. I think it's an important issue for the country because this obesity is just costing us all a fortune.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing this very important information with us this morning. Dit was dan professor Karen Hofman van die Universiteit van die Witwatersrand.